And we start at 5 with breaking news. IU men's basketball coach Mike Woodson has now told the university that he wants to step down, serving as the team's head coach.
So Dom joins us with a look at the coach's decision. Big news out of Bloomington.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Look, the writing was certainly on the wall, and now we have an answer, okay? Reports surfaced yesterday that this might be the conclusion that we were trending towards. Then today at 4 o'clock, we received a statement from IU Athletics Director Scott Dolson. It read in part, quote, "During a meeting with Coach Woodson on Wednesday, he informed me he wanted to step down as our program's head coach at the end of the current season. He said it had been weighing on his mind for a while and that it was an emotional and difficult decision. We've had subsequent thoughtful conversations about his decision and desire to ensure that the program is in the best position it can be moving forward. At an appropriate time, Coach Woodson will articulate his feelings about his decision and his experiences these last 4 years." Look, IU's lost 5 of its last 6 games, including 4 in a row. They're 14-9 overall, just 5-7 in Big Ten play. After making the tournament the first 2 years of Woodson's tenure, IU didn't a year ago, and it certainly is trending that way again this season. Look, he's an alum. He really is a legend as a player during his time in Bloomington, but it was clear this wasn't working out, and now it is official that he'll be stepping down at the conclusion of the season. We'll have much more for you on this at 6 and 11, some fan reaction as well. It's tough when it's an alum, right? And
yeah.
He was very much celebrated when he got this job.
And a marquee name like his.
Absolutely, an Indianapolis kid, right? But it just wasn't trending in the correct direction, and IU's a huge brand. This was the move that ultimately was made.
Not enough wins, and he certainly lost the fans. I mean, it was awful. You would go to Assembly Hall and see the people cheering against him.
Yeah.
Was his own contingency.
Exactly, and when it gets to that point, and again, the brand of IU basketball, right? Winning is kind of the price of admission. It just wasn't enough these past few years.
All right, Dom, our coverage continues as you learn more. Thank you so much.
Let's turn to weather now. Rob in the Weather Center this evening.
We're looking at temperatures in the 30s today. It was nice to see a lot of sunshine, and we did have plenty of that, but now some clouds are starting to move in. Temperatures are still holding into the 30s. They're starting to drop, especially now that we're losing the sunshine, the heating of the day. A couple of 40s popping up, but some clouds are filtering in, and this is just the sign of this very weak system that's going to bring us a chance for a little drizzle or some light rain overnight and through tomorrow. The problem is, before that arrives, the temperatures are going to drop, and they're going to get very close to and likely below freezing briefly. There's going to be a little window here where we could see some freezing drizzle. Should not amount to very much. That time frame is through about 9 a.m. tomorrow, depending on where you are. I think most of you will only have a few hours of this very light drizzle, mainly rain for the rest of Saturday. We could see some problems with some of the elevated surfaces. I think most of the ground temperatures are going to be warm enough that this shouldn't cause too many problems, but watch for a few stray slick spots out there. Just keep that in mind. Watch the road conditions. We will keep an eye on it for sure. Temperatures overnight below freezing for some of you. I'll take a look at when we could see some accumulating snow in our 7-day forecast coming up.
Thank you so much, Rob.
And you can track the forecast on the Live Doppler 13 weather app. It's a free download in your phone's app store.
Tonight, an Indianapolis man is charged with attempted murder in a shooting that left a woman brain dead and her boyfriend with an injury shot to the elbow.
The shooting happened on I-70 on the east side, but as our Rich Nye explains, this is not another case of road rage.
Indiana State Police believe that 19-year-old Dante Roney knew the car he was looking for and where to find it on Interstate 70 around 1:30 a.m. on January 2nd. That car was an eastbound black Chevy Equinox. Between the Keystone and Emerson Avenue exits, police believe Roney pulled alongside in his Jeep Grand Cherokee and opened fire. His alleged target was the man driving, who was hit in the elbow. The driver's girlfriend in the passenger seat was shot in the head and abdomen.
The vehicle had multiple bullet holes in it. We found multiple shell casings on the highway. And so obviously this wasn't just 1 or 2 shots. This was a significant amount of gunfire.
The driver exited and went straight to Community East Hospital, but the woman is brain dead and unresponsive for over a month now. With the driver's description of the shooter's car, police used the city flock camera system to locate Roney's Jeep in the area and exiting I-70 just after the shooting, and then going to his east side apartment.
Real-time information that we wouldn't have had just a couple of years ago, to include the flock cameras, some cell phone tracking abilities that we have. And so not only are we able to use that to put people in certain places, but it also helps us build a timeline of events so that we can better have an idea or a picture of what happened.
Police tracked the Jeep leaving Indiana January 11th. Roney was pulled over in Danville, Illinois. Indiana State Police say they found a Glock handgun in the center console of the Jeep Grand Cherokee. And a firearms investigator matched shell casings found along the interstate after the shooting to that gun. Roney faces 2 counts of attempted murder. In Indianapolis, Rich Knight, 13 News.
And Roney makes his first court appearance Tuesday. Last year, state troopers investigated 70 shootings on Indianapolis area interstates.
Also tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a crash that killed a mother and 2 of her children.
So the crash happened around 6:30 this morning along I-74 near Jamestown, which is in Boone County.
A detective with the sheriff's office tells us that the driver of a Kia Soul from Iowa rear-ended a semi, crossed the median, and then crashed head-on into a pickup truck before then ending up in a ditch.
Police identified the Iowa woman killed as 27-year-old Ashley Morgan. Her 2-year-old and 6-year-old children also died. Her 8-year-old survived and is currently hospitalized and is said to be stable. However, we don't know the child's condition.
The 33-year-old driver of the pickup and a passenger in the truck also hospitalized. And at this hour, we still are waiting word on their conditions as well.
And that semi-driver also went to the hospital for an evaluation.
Tonight, there are 2 arrest warrants out for the people now facing charges nearly 7 months after a deadly hit and run that involved 2 motorcyclists.
Tanisha Glover is charged with 2 counts of failure to remain at the scene of an accident resulting in death. And Donald McNary is charged with assisting a criminal, obstruction of justice, and false informing for allegations which occurred after the crash. This happened at the end of July on Lafayette Road near West 34th Street on Indy's west side.
A 22-year-old woman, Wesley Santos Jimenez, and 29-year-old Jorge Cabrera died in that crash. In court documents, detectives spoke to the employee of a Rally's that's located in the area.
The employee told police her manager, Donald McNary, let his girlfriend, Tanisha Glover, use his car, which they saw involved in the crash. Police say McNary told them a different story, saying that someone stole his car.
However, detectives said that they looked through surveillance video from the Rally's, which had the date changed from July 27th to the 2nd and contradicted what McNary had told police.
And developing tonight, we are learning of increasing frustrations with the U.S. Postal Service hub here in Indianapolis. This is a story that we've been following since December.
And since then, we've heard from so many customers who said they've been waiting weeks and weeks for packages. They've even been waiting for their medicine that's being delayed. Some of the people wanting to get those meds are Hoosier veterans. Now tonight, small business owners are speaking up about the problems that the delays are causing them.
Our Marion County reporter Lauren Kostick shares how this delivery dilemma is hurting their bottom line.
Small businesses here in central Indiana rely on the Postal Service to deliver packages on time. But many say that's not happening, including this hobby shop here in Martinsville. That's not just losing money, but also customers.
So those are $21.99.
Tiffany Singer and her husband own Singer Hobbies. For the last 2 months, their business has taken a hit. Not because of lack of sales.
We do between 200 and 250 orders a day.
But because Tiffany says those orders aren't arriving to customers. About 90% are shipped through the U.S. Postal Service, and majority are getting stuck at the distribution hub in Indy. As a result, Tiffany is out thousands in reimbursements and lost merchandise.
I've never had this many complaints, never. I have 46 open cases right now. It changed to an additional 5 within 30 minutes.
It was just a continued, scrolling, checking every tracking number to see if anything had moved, if there was anything that had changed, and I just kept getting the same thing over and over again, just no updates.
Seth Murray is dealing with the same problem. He sells clothing online, dropping off 30 packages last month, only for them to sit at the distribution hub for more than a week.
Hadn't even left the city of Indianapolis, and had been, at that point, almost 10 days.
Last week, 13 News finally got some answers from the local postal workers union. Steve Vaughn says the facility is understaffed and mismanaged.
They don't have the people that they need to move the mail.
He suggested rattling some cages, calling state and federal lawmakers.
Help us get these guys' ears so that they know we have to get this done.
In the meantime, businesses are left suffering.
If we can't ship them, people are no longer going to buy with us. And small businesses can't afford that. We really can't.
Pushing for a solution and answers to this delivery nightmare. In Indianapolis, Lauren Kostick, 13 News.
In a statement to 13 News last week, the U.S. Postal Service said, quote, the local management team is committed to ensuring ongoing processing of mail and packages and is constantly monitoring all processing operations. And to find your lawmakers, go to the Indiana General Assembly website, click Find Your Legislator, and plug in your address. Breaking news now at 5:09. IMPD releasing edited body cam footage of a shooting that involved one of their officers. This happened in October of 2023 at a bar on the east side of Indy. And IMPD has released this edited footage roughly an hour ago. Our team has been combing through this, and we do want to make it clear that the man shot by police who was charged in this shooting was found not guilty by a Marion County jury in November of last year. So here is the moment the IMPD officer shot that man at a bar near East Washington Street and Mithofer Road. IMPD says the officer fired his gun at the man after shots were fired inside the bar. The officer was working off-duty security at that bar. IMPD officers put the man in cuffs. This edited body cam footage shows the man telling police he did not have a gun.
I'm shot, brother. Okay. Chill. I'm shot, brother. Okay.
We did learn that 3 people were hurt in the shooting. No one was killed. And then this is the portion of the edited body cam that shows an object on the ground. The officer on scene says the object was a gun. A crowd then gathers around the object, and this is when the IMPD officer took the man shot, who was charged in this case, into custody. Again, the man charged in this case was found not guilty. On to more news tonight. A man and a woman are safe after Indianapolis firefighters rescued them from the roof of a burning house. The fire happened around 2:30 this morning just north of Garfield Park. Firefighters took 2 people to a local hospital for evaluation since they were exposed to a lot of smoke there. Now the cause of the fire is now under investigation. Another one of President Trump's plans is now blocked in court. The move a judge just made ahead of cuts to USAID. That is new at 5:30. Plus this.
He's a hero. Shout out to his parents. You know, they raised a hero.
He says they raised a hero, getting a shout out from one of the Philadelphia Eagles players in the Super Bowl. The 10-year-old boy that he's recognizing after that deadly medical jet crash. Plus, examining the wreckage. What we're now learning about the search for the pieces of a plane and helicopter which crashed into the Potomac. We've got that and more when we return.